아웃코너 190cm 82.3kg Gregory Bouchelaghem.
Gregory Bouchelaghem is 28'6'2", 183 pounds, making his debut in Bushido.
아웃코너 173cm 82.9kg Paulo Filho is
28'5'8", 183 pounds, undefeated in his career and 5-0 in Pride Fighting Championships. Another opening round matchup of Bushido Survival 06. Many believe Filho, one of the favorites to go all the way. You see that tattoo on his left arm. Former boxing great Mike Tyson. Bouchelaghem says he's going to give Filho the French touch.
No, he's not. Filho not only a lot of guys' picks to win this whole thing, he's one of my picks to win this whole thing.
Comes out like a raging bull, attacking Bouchelaghem. Coming off a victory over rival Murilo Ninja Rua, now inside control.
Filho is like a red-nosed pit bull. Once he gets in this position, you are never getting him out of it. He is so strong and so compact and so good technically from here. Unless something happens very strangely where he's able to get out from underneath, it's just, this is when the majority of the rest of the fight is going to be seen right here in this position.
Bouchelaghem, a black belt in karate, a submission specialist as well, has a purple belt under Ricardo de la Riva rep David Pierre-Louis, who is widely regarded as France's #1 grappler, considered France's best welterweight, and the second French fighter to appear in Pride Fighting Championships. And actually, the other guy, Bertrand Amosu, is in his corner, part of the French top team.
Filho looks like he's getting ready, trying to slide that knee in. Maybe going for a knee mount. May slide all the way across to a full mount.
Nice block there by Bouchelaghem. You saw that Filho was going for the full mount. Bouchelaghem,
knees on,
bucking up. Now it's a knee on belly.
Good job.
Filho very methodical, as we saw against Murilo Ninja Rua, just smothering his opponent, doing what is necessary to control the fight. And again, putting up that left leg. Nice block there by Bouchelaghem, but Filho, there's the mount.
Wow, great transition. Now, see, little breath, little relax.
Maybe thought that was a little harder than he thought it might be.
Yeah, it looked like it, but now he's in a good position.
Bouchelaghem doing a good job of keeping his head close to Filho, but here he's eating a series of right hands. But Bouchelaghem almost nodding his head as if to say, no, everything's okay.
When you get hit on top of the head like that, it doesn't do much damage. It's very irritating, but what it does is it compels points in the judge's mind, but as well as compelling points against you, that every time you're in this position, he's going to keep getting whacked up.
Is there a danger, however, of Filho punching himself out without really delivering much damage?
You're not using much energy in that position.
Now he's opening up with a ground and pound. Wing blocking is Bouchelaghem.
Wow, the length.
Nice.
Whoa!
Oh, beautifully done by Bouchelaghem and a knee to Filho. Wow. Pride General Director Nobuhiko Takada mentioned he's been very impressed with the newcomers to Pride Fighting Championships who are appearing in this tournament. Bouchelaghem looking for a standing Kimura, but it's the takedown. Paulo Filho.
Great takedown slam. Great to a double leg. Nice transition from the single to the double leg. Good position.
You know, Bouchelaghem has quite the resume, however. His biggest win was against Andrei Semenov.
He started to sneak it in.
He's also defeated Mark Weir, reality TV star Ross Poynton. So while Pride Fighting Championships fans may not know much about Gregory Bouchelaghem, he does have an impressive background.
Nice body shot. Those are doing a lot of damage in that position. Nice transition to the mount.
Filho's been training since the age of 5, a black belt in judo. And when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training under the late, great Carlson Gracie, 3 BJJ world titles, 5 Brazilian BJJ championships, and again, in control from the top position here.
Doing a great job, pinning him into the corner. Looks like he's trying to slide Bouchelaghem's head right up under the ring post.
Co-founder of Brazilian top team Mario Sperry calls Filho the most physically gifted athlete he's ever worked with. Those peppering right hands again delivered to the top of Bouchelaghem's head, and in that corner there, from the mount, swelling up now is Bouchelaghem, but Filho continues to rain down the lefts and rights. Some good old-fashioned ground and pound here, although Bouchelaghem blocking some of them, but look, now he's beginning to...
This is a bad position. Bouchelaghem's got to get out of this mount. Just covering up in here and staying here for, all rounds is not going to help you.
But he's in an unenviable position here in the corner. Not much real estate to escape from.
He can slide his head off to his right and get his head out of that corner and start getting his feet up and escape like he did earlier.
Oh, he saw a nice escape earlier.
Needs to move his hips. See how he's just keeping his feet up in the air? That's not going to help.
He needs to definitely utilize the hip movement, explode out of there, but now the referee warning Bouchelaghem. Filho now just picking up the pace.
See how his feet are in the air? With your feet in the air in this position, you're not doing any good. There's no way he's going to escape out of this position.
And it's like that game at the carnival almost, Trig. You punch down the Gophers. That's almost what we saw there as Filho going to work on Gregory Bouchelaghem. And it looks like the referee is going to restart it in the center of the ring. And this gives at least a bit of a respite to Bouchelaghem here while they move to the center of the ring. But obviously, when it comes to the guard, and now, of course, in the full mount, he definitely has to explode his hips. Easier said than done, I know, when you're dealing with the physical force of Paulo Filho.
He's in a great mount position right now. This is going to be very difficult to get out of. He's got to hope that Paulo Filho moves his hips a little bit and makes a slight mistake to get his knees back in.
He has his left arm wrapped around the back of the head of Bouchelaghem, and some people say that that's not the best, and that's exactly why, because Bouchelaghem is able to attempt what he just did there, but again, some good balance by Filho. And again, it goes back to the answering the phone, as some people call it.
It's very strange to me that every time Paulo sits up, Bouchelaghem brings his feet in the air. Oh, good job. Maybe Americana, maybe a Kimura here. Probably not, though, because the length difference between these two opponents. Filho's a lot shorter than Bouchelaghem. It's going to be really hard to get any kind of arm lock on him.
But from this position, does his limbs not play into Filho's game? Is this not a disadvantage for Bouchelaghem with the long limbs?
It depends on what position he's going for. It depends on how, see this time, the leg length we saw earlier, he got out of this position. Now it's a detriment because Paulo knows what's coming.
And Filho now
keeping his hips nice and tight. See, this is why he can wrap around the head. It's because his hips are so low and tight on his body.
Yep.
On Bouchelaghem's body, he can wrap the head. He can wrap around the head, use his arms.
Very good mount by Filho, but give Bouchelaghem his credit as well. He's trying. He's remaining active on the bottom, as frustrating as it is for him right now. We're into the final 3 minutes of the first round now, going for the Americana.
Little high, he's a little bit high. If you see his hand is a little bit high on his forearm, and he's putting his hand down to his wrist just a little bit lower to lock this out. Looks like he switched off to half guard. Did a good job of keeping Paulo out with his long reach. He's pushing on his hip right here with Bouchelaghem's left hand. That's going to keep Paulo out for a short period of time. You see now he finally passes.
We didn't know much about Gregory Bouchelaghem, but what do you think of him thus far in the situation that he's in?
He's got great defense. We haven't seen much offense on him yet, so it's hard to judge anything else that he has. Paulo on top, I'd like to see him, try to swing off. The full mount obviously isn't working. I'd like to see him get to his favorite position on the side.
And that's where he is now.
And start kneeing Bouchelaghem to the body and to the head to try to loosen him up a little bit.
That right arm has it trapped there. Again, just smothering Gregory Bouchelaghem as Paulo Filho now in the full mount again, and just delivering the lefts and rights, continuing to try to work over Bouchelaghem again with the hip movement, but not enough power to explode and reverse. Paulo Filho now looks like setting up for an armbar.
Yep.
No, he's got him in the Americana.
Lost it.
I thought he was going to go for the near side armbar, switching the hips, but
He pinned it off. Good job, because everyone believes when you turn your hips like that, here comes the armbar, and Paulo did a good job of switching to the other side.
For sure. And that's what makes the ground game so interesting, so cerebral. There's so much going on.
Yeah, and you have to think a lot, too, when you're there. Is it bringing him back up again?
Timeout has been called by the referee, and he's going to award a green card to Bouchelaghem. And again, we talked about it in the opening trig. In Bushido, green cards are given for lack of action for stalling. It comes with a 10-point deduction or 10% deduction from your purse. And so Bouchelaghem obviously being warned by the referee to pick it up here in the final 60 seconds. But for Bouchelaghem, the saving grace is they brought the fight back to its feet.
Yep, and then Paulo bully dogged his way right into it. Now he's going to
body lock and the takedown. Nice trip takedown there by Filho.
I want to apologize to the fans. I said we wouldn't be seeing a green card this evening, and one came out already.
And Filho back into what appears to be half guard there, a closed half guard, or half mount, however you look at it.
He's just slat his knee one way or the other. He can get all the way to full mount if he chooses to, Paulo does. I think he's realized there's just less than a minute left. He's kind of content to stay in this position.
You know, I've been taken to task a few times, but Trig, I ask again, Paulo Filho, I know that you need to set up, you need to work. It's all about what your opponent gives you when it comes to the ground game, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But here we have Paulo Filho, who's dominated the first round in terms of positioning and stuff. Should he be trying to do more in terms of going for the finish? That's what I ask.
As we get here to the end of the first round, I firmly believe that, Mauro. He's very aggressive on his feet. He basically, you know, runs into you, tries to take it down as quickly as possible. Gets very aggressive past the guard pass, either to the full mount, or side mount. But then he just sits there. He doesn't do enough after he gets to that position. He really needs to do more. I would love to see him. He's always in a great position to rain down knees, and he never does it. As we see some of the first round action here, he just sat up here and bullied this kid around. He really was like a bully on a junior high school yard and didn't do enough to finish the fight. You know, Paulo's won so many of his fights just by grounding and pounding, not grounding and pounding, mauling and brawling. Kind of gets on you, lays and prays, and holds you down, and doesn't move very much. And so the thing is that it's very difficult for him to change his mind to go ahead and go after the finish. Very, very hard and very, very difficult if you're not programmed to do that all the time. Now, in my case, when I compete, I'm always going for the finish. And Mauro, you've seen some of my fights. It's a detriment to me sometimes. On the other end, Paulo never really goes to the finish, and that's kind of a detriment to him if it goes to a decision.
The flip side of that is then, Trig, is it because of what Bouchelaghem was doing? Because obviously he was able to defend all right, but it was like there were opportunities. And again, I know that when you're in the ring, you're thinking constantly what you're going to do. But in a pride fight, a Bushido fight, they are scored. The first criteria, effort to finish the fight by knockout or submission. That's not a criticism. Just wondering, because Paulo Filho, obviously a dominating fighter.
Could be a little, you know, you'd like to say it's nerves, but he's been here a while. This isn't like it's his first show. You'd like to say he's being conservative because he wants to make sure he gets the win, especially after you've come off a series of
an
losses.
axe kick.
Wow.
Pulled out there by Gregory Bouchelaghem.
Paulo's got to be careful now that Bouchelaghem's finally starting to get off his striking abilities. He could catch Paulo as he runs in there.
Of course, Bouchelaghem afforded this opportunity when Yundong Sik came up with an injury and trying to make the most of it. Some good takedown defense there by Bouchelaghem.
He's coming in.
And a knee and a nice right hand, so Bouchelaghem missing with that uppercut, and Filho seizing the opportunity for another takedown attempt, but we're seeing a different Bouchelaghem so far in the second round, but there again, the brute strength of Filho.
He needs to start throwing his left knee right to his head. I mean, he's got, you know, Bouchelaghem's got a little bit with his right arm out there blocking it, but it's not enough. It's not enough. As you see him starting to attack the arm a little bit.
For the Kimura perhaps here.
The length is going to be really difficult. Oh, Paulo's in a better position this time. He's got all the way down to the wrist, as you can see. He's at Bouchelaghem's wrist. He needs to pack it. He needs to bring his elbow, needs to bring Bouchelaghem's elbow up to his ear to pack that arm.
You could see the nice strategy, though, by Bouchelaghem grabbing his own leg there to try to thwart any attempts. So Bouchelaghem, not his first barbecue, so to speak, Trig.
Now when it comes to submissions especially, he really knows. He's obviously been trained well. Definitely knows how to keep out of it.
A lot of his victories have come via submission, choking out Ross Poynton, the reality TV star, choking out Mark Weir, who we've seen in Pride Fighting Championships. And again, the biggest win of his career against Andrei Semenov. That took place November 2005 on a show in Russia. Now Filho, though, doing a good job again of just spreading him out.
Paulo obviously in control of this entire bout.
You see the tattoo on his neck. Veni, Vidi, Vici, of course. Means I came, I saw, I conquered. And of course, Filho looking to conquer all competitors in the 2006 Bushido welterweight tournament. Now the half butterfly guard there by Bouchelaghem, the referee, is going to, again, call a timeout. And this time it's Paulo Filho who's assessed the green card. So 10% of his purse is gone.
Oh, both
and
guys.
one
Wow.
for Bouchelaghem, which means 20% for him.
And here's a sad situation where I really think that Paulo Filho can win the entire tournament, even fighting like this, because you can't really do any damage to him. He controls the takedown, he gets on top of you, holds you down. You know, it's gonna be very difficult to beat him when he can get off like this.
And this, again, the dichotomy of what we face here in Pride Fighting Championships, Trig. We see 2 green cards assessed to these world-class athletes. For the fans at home, what that means is they want action, especially in Bushido. It's 15 minutes. You're expected to come into tip-top shape, which these 2 are. But, again, they need to go for the finish. And I know it's easier said than done, but we just saw the green cards.
Great leg kick to the head, Bouchelaghem. But, you know, also here's the thing, too, is that the really incredible thing about Pride Fighting Championships is even if you lose, but you do it aggressively and do it with a lot of heart, they're going to have you back. It's not like some organizations when you lose, you're never going to be seen again.
That's a very big
Whoa!
point. Nice takedown
Great,
there.
great inside leg trip.
So obviously when we go down the criteria again with the takedowns, you know, Filho is winning this fight. I mean, it's...
On every position, every criteria,
Right.
he's winning all 5 criteria.
But I think Gregory Bouchelaghem thus far acquitting himself as well as can be expected against the veteran Paulo Filho, and now he's done a great job of trying to defend from the bottom, but like you say, hasn't had much in the way of offense. Started the second round with some kicks, but it's been Paulo Filho sticking to what has been his tried and true game plan throughout his career. And there is a look at the Pride World Welterweight Champion, Dan Henderson. Of course, he's looking on with vested interest as he is scheduled to enter the tournament with the rest of the 7 competitors who win at Bushido Survival 06 the first round. Now it's Bouchelaghem trying to work for a Kimura of his own, trying to take out the left arm of Filho, but time is of the essence now, Trig.
He's got to get that arm out. That's not going to happen. Filho's just so strong in this position. He's winning this entire fight. Filho right now can just kind of hold position and try to pull it off. And honestly, I think that the best matchup that we could see, if we could see it happen and it goes all the way through the way that I would like to see it, is Dan Henderson and Filho in the finals. Because I think Henderson's really the only one that can stop him from taking down and controlling like he does with everything.
Referee calling for action, similar to what we saw when Filho took on Murillo Ninja Rua in his last fight here in Pride. It looks like this one is going to the judge's decision, unless something happens here in the last half minute. Good guard pass there by Filho.
You know, knees, he could just be throwing little small peppering knees right now in this position just for some action purposes.
Now attempting the Americana on the far side. Bouchelaghem defending well again.
It's always amazing to me how aggressive everybody gets in the last 30 seconds.
Well, we saw a little bit of everything there, and Bouchelaghem holding his hands in victory. Maybe a moral one for the newcomer from France, but Paulo Filho, what do you think, Trig? I guess did enough to advance.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely won this fight. Well, you know, he did all the damage, did all the ground control. He had all the aggressiveness. He did, you know, he controlled all the takedowns. And everything was controlled by Paulo Filho, so he's definitely
some great sportsmanship there, being employed by both fighters. Bouchelaghem raising the arm of Paulo Filho. Looked like Paulo Filho was almost going to smooch the Frenchman there. And
well, you know, Brazilians do get along with the French.
And let's take a look now at some of the action. Nice takedown again, beautiful balance displayed there by Paulo Filho. And here's an attempt at an Americana. But again, defensively, Bouchelaghem did a great job. But it's, you know, it's not hockey. Great defenses don't usually win here in Pride Fighting Championships.
Paulo
Filho advances to the Elite 8, the second round of the Bushido Welterweight Tournament, with a convincing unanimous decision over Gregory Bouchelaghem of France. Did Bouchelaghem do enough to warrant a return visit to Bushido, Trig?
Absolutely, absolutely. He fought well. just a little overmatched. I'd like to see him. He's got some good striking. We didn't get a chance to see because he got smothered. I'd like to see him, you know, with another guy that will stand in front and strike a little bit more. You know, obviously with Andre Semenov, he beat him earlier, and there's some other guys that I think he do very, very well with here in Pride. I'd definitely like to see him come back, Bouchelaghem.